Let's see if the notices go out. So quiet in this house. Hence the title, if it even went on there. The Sounds of Silence. I know it well. Great song, by the way. Oh, look, I got a notice. So perhaps things will go well this morning. We shall see. Oops. And should you pick this up on the replay, just fast forward to the good part. Hopefully there's one here. Just you and me, troll. Or trolls, shall I say. My obsessed haters. They just can't get enough of the kid. Ain't that right? Oh, well, somebody popped in. Doggy, hello. How you doing? I like your tag. I am from Russia. How are you? I'm doing all right. Interesting that the first person here is all the way from Russia. How's the weather out your way, doggy? Good day, man. Cool. Like you. You like. You like. Not sure what you mean by that. Well, the kids in the house, any lightning hit the house last night? No, man. It was a wild storm. I've never seen lightning that just keeps flashing up in the clouds and it just stopped, man. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen when it comes to Mother Nature. Sorry, I'm not speaking English. No worries, doggy. Yeah, kid, it was wild. I stayed up late enough till about 11. The storm blew through and I could see the stars, but there were no northern lights. There's a YouTube channel that I follow, Suspicious Observer, and he's all into the sun and the solar flares and all that stuff. And he said that they missed their prediction as to when the sun particles were going to hit the atmosphere and the northern lights and all that stuff. So they said there might be a slight chance tonight, but I don't think I'll have the weather for it. I've never seen the northern lights. I thought it'd be pretty cool. Down to 1 and 1. Here we go again. Another one of those lives that's nice and cozy. You got any prospective buyers online? No. Everyday stream. I try to come out here every day, but lately I haven't been doing too good. No, when it comes to a buyer, I haven't put this place on the market yet. I'm going to wait till spring and try to get as much done as I can before then, and see what happens. I'm anxious to leave, real anxious to leave. Tired of living here alone. And once I get out of here, I can get me another dog. Temp going to Cali? Yeah, I'm gonna head back to California for a little while. Go to my hospital out there that I went to before. Get proper treatment for my illness. LS, good to see you, young lady. Have you thought about renting? No. See, the thing is, I don't have enough income to leave this property and rent something somewhere else. And renting this property doesn't make any sense if I need to sell it so that I can buy something else. I'm real anxious to try to get this dog rescue thing off the ground. And I've lost 3 years of my life, not to mention my dogs. And I just want to get things moving in the right direction so I can feel better. So the plan is to just keep working as much as I can, get as much done as I can by the spring, get a real estate agent that I can trust, put this place on the market, make sure that it's advertised down south, Green Bay, Chicago. A lot of folks from down that way buy vacation homes up here. And this is a little hobby farm, and the guest house in the back has a heated garage, and a lot of folks like that for their snowmobiles and all that kind of stuff. And this little town holds fishing tournaments and snowmobile races. And so if I'm going to try to realize as much as I can for this property, I need to be very business savvy about selling it. I can't just throw it online and anyway. Man, what do you do for a living? I'm retired. I was a union sheet metal worker. Worked in high rises. Hit the dog shit out those weights. It helps a lot. Go back to the gym last week and swimming. Good for you, kid. Yeah, I'd like to get on the weights, man. They're right upstairs. Heavy bag, speed bag, whatever weights I need. I even got a stationary bicycle I can ride. But my energy has been really bad, man. Really worn down, probably a little depressed. It's just, it's real hard trying to be motivated. And when I am motivated, my energy is so lousy. I just collected another sample yesterday. It's so crystal clear what's wrong with me But until I get somebody to listen and test my sample and get me on the right antibiotic, I'm going to keep fighting this up and down with the internet, you know. I wish you a good day. Thank you, doggy. Hello. LS. My dog was attacked yesterday by a black lab. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, young lady. It's a nightmare for her and me. Man, I'm so sorry. Lousy dog owners that don't know how to behave. It's not the dog's fault, it's the owner's fault. If you can't trust your dog to behave, it needs to be on a leash or fenced in your yard so it can't get out, whatever it takes. I just watched a video this morning. I follow a lot of doggy channels, rescue channels. It gives me faith that I'll find good people that care about these dogs, you know. And the one that I watched this morning was this little white pit bull with these big old ears. It reminded me a lot of Mama Dog. And they rescued this little dog. It had a broken jaw and it was deaf. So somebody kicked this dog in the head, I have no doubt. And they rehabilitated the little dog. It got better, but it couldn't hear nothing. And I felt so sad for that little dog because it was going to spend the rest of its little life in silence, you know? And then it got me thinking about how quiet it is around here without my dogs being here. And how so many people don't deserve to have a dog because the way they treat them. But the lady that adopted this little dog, such a good person. Those stories make me sad, but they give me faith. Sometimes they're hard for me to watch because of what people do to dogs. I don't understand humans, why they do what they do, why they behave the way they do. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, so sad. Life is full of suffering. It sure is, young lady. I've had my fair share, there's no doubt. And with these health issues I get these weird little dizzy spells, I call it, but it's not really just a dizzy spell. It's hard to describe. And every time it comes on, I'm thinking, man, is this the one? Do I get to go home? So hard to keep the faith sometimes that everything's going to work out. I'll get this place sold. I'll find me some good dog lovers to help me do my little doggy rescue, and everything's going to be good. But my life experiences tell me otherwise. And that whole thing about having faith in God, thinking positive and all that, hasn't worked out very well so far. But I keep the faith because it's all I got to hang on to right now. Bill W., yo, good afternoon, brother, East Coast time. That is afternoon here. Just thought I'd check up on you, brother. Biggest prayers. Thank you, Bill. Right back at you. Thank you. And I see 2 thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. I see 4 people watching. Yeah, this little YouTube channel of ours has sure gotten hammered again. It's so it's so funny how up and down it is when it comes to getting my message out. I've been out here for a long time. And for quite a while, I was my own worst enemy when it came to promoting this channel. A lot of bitching and moaning and yelling and screaming. The one good thing that I got after my dogs died is it really subdued my anger. And having all this alone time to think about life and what's happened since I've been here, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and I've learned a lot in the last couple months. Better late than never. If I get a chance to do this all over again, it'll be a whole different thing. That's why when I come out here, I try not to drudge up the past, leave it, leave dead dogs lie and all that, and try to stay positive and think about the future and finding the right people that need help to help me help the dogs. I know it's a great idea. It's on the brain all day, every day. How am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? Who's going to help me? Where am I going to live? And then I get stuck in the silence of this house. My dogs really helped. I had no idea just how much they helped. Anyway, Bill W., thank you, brother. Power down the day, Bob. Henry, you got it. Oh yeah, they have a big blessing. Yeah. Dogs are a gift from heaven, I have no doubt. They teach you so much about life and about yourself. And when you're broken, they teach you how to love again. I was very angry and bitter for a long time. Now that the dogs are gone, I look back and I see just how badly I was behaving. I had no idea. When you're in the middle of it, triggered or whatever you want to call it, what's the shrinks call it, dysregulated, you can't see the forest for the trees. You don't realize what you're doing. I was so hung up on getting my justice and holding people accountable for the wrongs they did, I missed what was important. That's why I say when I leave here, I'm a different man. Much calmer. And I have such more gratitude for what dogs do. Man, hindsight, it's always 2020. Bill W., you gotta go with it in the middle of a little roofing patch. Hopefully I can complete it today. So biggest prayers always. Thank you, Bill. Good luck with the roof. Be safe, homie. Don't go falling off the roof. Now's the time to get it tucked away before the winter gets here. LS, I take a Buddhist approach. I try to accept the fact that suffering exists. I just try not to create it. There you go, girl. The ex-wife was kind of into that Buddhist stuff. And I used to tell her that's voodoo. She had this little shrine, and she used to say that yo Reishi show. She had this little chant she used to do. But the Buddhists have a great way of looking at life. They really do. And I've said this story out here many times, but I was in a bar with the ex-wife and big nightclub, and this guy came walking up on her, hitting on her, and he didn't know I was with her. Asked her for a light for her cigarette, and she quickly said, "I am the light. What you seek is the flame." And that was that Buddhist influence that she had. She was so, for being so broken, she was really wise. She loved Mama Dog. That's where Mama Dog came from. And then Kimba came from Mama Dog. And now all three of their ashes are right up there. So crazy. Anyway, try not to get all boo-hooey out here. But the quietness in this house, man, it just kills me. Sometimes I wish it would. Fuck. So tired. Mm-mm. Well, you hang in there, LS. And I hope your dog's okay. And I hope whoever owns that lab learns how to be a better dog owner. Labs are usually pretty tame. But to have one attack your dog tells me that dog wasn't raised very well. It was traumatizing. Oh, I can only imagine to have to watch your dog getting bit by another dog. My dogs were well socialized. Mama Dog was a little rough because she had a lot of time alone. She had a lot of separation anxiety. But little Kimba was a lover. I took her to the tattoo shop every day. And I brought her into the bars with me in a swaddle when she was a baby. Everybody loved that dog. People used to come into the tattoo shop, not to get a tattoo, but just to see little Kimba because they knew her from the neighborhood. The neighborhood that the tattoo shop was in, San Francisco, the Inner Sunset, it's a very family-oriented neighborhood, a lot of mom and pop businesses, and a lot of folks in the neighborhood. Everybody knows everybody, a lot of foot traffic. People would see Kimba in the window of the tattoo shop, and they'd come walking in. "Oh, can I pet the dog?" "Oh, yeah, for sure." Good memories from back then. If you go to my oldest videos, you can see Kimba in the tattoo shop. I had her in a little doggy crate right under the desk when she was a baby. I was real worried about parvo, so I wouldn't let her walk on the city streets until after she got old enough to get her parvo vaccinations. I was very protective of that little dog and made sure that she was very well socialized. She lived with other dogs. When I was with the ex, she had two pit bulls, and her daughter had a real huge pit bull. And so she got used to living around those dogs. And she lived with me when I was living with Dave Dog, and he had little Boo Boo, this little tiny furry dog, Shih Tzu, I think. And Kimba was always good with other dogs, as long as they were friendly. But Kimba was a pistol. If somebody or another dog was aggressive towards her, she'd let you know right quick. She was just like her papa. It's so hard to refer to her in the past tense. Dog on dog is tricky. And we just moved to Portugal. Wow. That's wild, LS. Because I think you were up in Canada, if that memory serves me right. There was someone else that I ain't seen in a while, but used to show up in the comment section that was from Portugal. I even got a postcard from Portugal. It was pretty cool. C. White. JohnnyO, what's up, OG? Just popping in, trying to stay connected. Was feeling a little lonely this morning. So quiet in this house, man. I watched this video about a deaf dog and how it got rescued, and got to thinking about how that little dog's going to spend the rest of its life in silence, you know? Then it got me thinking about that song, The Sounds of Silence. That song always tore my heart out because I understand it quite well. Always have. Even when I was a kid, always kept to myself when I was real young. Then when I was in my teens and 20s, I was the social butterfly, trying to be normal like everybody else. I even know when my PTSD started kicking in. It was when I was living with the XO lady. She said to me one time, "Why are you so mean? You used to be so nice." And she was right. I didn't realize till years later what was going on with me. Got to a point in life where I just called everybody out on their bullshit. It didn't matter. If you did something or said something that ruffled me, I was going to let you know. But as a young man, I didn't let it bother me. And then when I moved here and things started going sideways, it really put me on one. But I managed to figure it out. Figuring out that I had PTSD made all the difference in the world, because then it made me accountable for my actions. I blamed the world for my anger. It's your fault that I'm pissed off. And that just made it worse. Well, I see 7 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. You have a lot of insight about anger. A lot of people need guidance. I couldn't agree more. That's why I come out here and put myself on blast, you know, and hope that other people that suffer see what I've been through and realize they need to be responsible for their temper. There's a lot of people in the world with PTSD and they don't even know it. It's not just joining the military and seeing some really bad stuff and it gives you bad memories. You get bad memories from your childhood. You get bad memories from a divorce. You get bad memories from all kinds of things. And those memories leave scars and they affect your behavior. And like I said, when I was younger, it didn't manifest. It wasn't there. I didn't have this real angry side to me unless something drastic happened, and then the demons would come out. I've always had a temper, but it would take a lot to bring that temper out. But as I got older, it got worse. And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people, you know, especially if you had a lousy childhood. You confront and go about your life, but one day all that stuff will bubble up. And I imagine folks that were in the military and suffered PTSD and they had a normal childhood and then they get scars as an adult. That's a whole different thing. I can't speak on that because I don't know what that's like. But when I found out there's a gal on YouTube, Childhood Fairy something, and she's a psychiatrist, and she's got complex PTSD is what she called it, because when you go through hardships as a kid and you get a lot of scars, they build up. I've seen a lot of stuff. And for me, I just choked it all down. Out of sight, out of mind. And then, like I said, it came out later in life. I just got to be more and more angry. And you don't realize it because you're in the middle of it. But once you learn about it, and when that anger comes on and you feel it coming on, and up here you're going, that's that PTSD again. You got to get quiet, think it through, realize it's going to pass. And if it doesn't pass, then you need to remove yourself from the situation because you're going to make it worse. I had no idea. No idea. But now I do. It's shitty, but that's my life. I can't lie, can't pretend. I did that when I was younger. I tried to be normal. I tried to be like everybody else. I didn't talk about being in foster homes. Most of my friends for most of my life never even knew I was a foster child unless they knew me from when I was little. There's a couple people out here that follow that knew me from elementary school. They knew I was in a foster home. I had one kid in grade school ask me questions about how come your parents have a different last name than you? And I said, they're my foster parents. And this kid asked me, does that mean you live in Foster City? Because Foster City is a city that's close by. San Mateo is where I lived at the time, and it was on the other side of the freeway. And I laughed. I said, no. And I had to explain to him what a foster home was. But I kept that close to the vest. I didn't tell people I was in a foster home. It embarrassed me because then they would ask why. And then I have to talk about my mom, and I was very protective of my mom. I didn't like talking about how she was broken. When the box is, C-White, when the box is getting to the full and can't close it, you spaz on your family and close friends. Yep, you're right. It builds up and it comes out in bad ways, man. I couldn't have said it better myself, C-White. LS. Depression also produces anger. Yeah. Coping mechanism. For me, I feel small inside, like I'm disappearing. C. White, Bay Area. Yeah, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, Redwood City. Right in the heart of Silicon Valley, long before there was even a cell phone. My hometown has changed so much. When I was a sheet metal apprentice, I tried to buy a house because I needed a write-off before I became a journeyman. And the house I was looking at was $176,000. Now that house is well over $1 million. I've seen so much in one life. I built my first Harley Davidson by hand from the frame up when I was, how old was I? Man, I can't even think. It was back in 1996, 96, 97. I built that Harley, and I was real against cell phones. They'd been out for a while, but I didn't want one. I can't stand technology. But I broke down and got a cell phone in case my Harley broke down. I could call a tow truck kind of thing, you know? And that cell phone only made phone calls. It wasn't no smartphone. Now you can get on your phone and FaceTime with somebody all over the globe. That trips me out. And when I was real little, your phone was bolted to the wall. And it was very expensive to make phone calls. And it was all on hardwire. There was no cell signals. Your television had antennas on top. And to get a better signal, you would put tin foil on the antennas to try to catch a better signal. Went to the gas station with Mom when I was real little, back when you used to stand up on the front seat. Forget about a seatbelt. And Mom handed me 50 cents. Said, give this to the man and tell him you want 2 gallons of gas. Some of my childhood memories are very vivid. And I don't really understand why, but I remember some of the smallest details. 25 cents a gallon for gasoline. Pack of cigarettes was 35 cents. Mom would give me 2 quarters, go to the laundromat, put the quarters in the machine, pull the handle, the cigarettes would fall out of the bottom. And she said I could keep the change, and I would go to the convenience store and buy a candy bar and a bag of chips. Candy bar was 10 cents, a bag of chips was 5. It was a different world. A completely different world back then. A simpler time. You jumped on your bicycle and you took off. My bicycle was my freedom. All the way up until I got my driver's license, and then a car was my freedom. I would drive around for hours because I didn't want to go home. I'd ride my bicycle for hours all over the neighborhood. Go knock on this buddy's house, go knock on that buddy's house. Didn't find nobody. I'd just go to the park and play by myself because I didn't want to go back to the foster home. Now kids are glued on their gadget. I used to watch this television show, Lost in Space. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. And when I watched that show, I was Will Robinson. I was on the flying saucer, going all over the universe, getting in getting in trouble and whatnot. It was my escape. Before I had a bicycle, it was the television. Mom used to call me a television-aholic. But it was my escape. I can look back and remember those times in my life, and it was my escape. Greetings from Germany. Much love and the Lord's grace and blessings. Well, thank you, LACR, LACRUS. I don't read so good. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic. But thank you for that. I appreciate you. I love those memories. Thank you, LS. I'm 27, 28 in next gen. I grew up in a time and a place between the early 20s. I'm glad I grew up between dogs and dirt while being able to experience the rise of tech. There you go. Yeah. I don't like this world. These gadgets have taken humanity out of humans. People don't know how to interact anymore. They don't know how to have eye contact. Say, good morning. How are you? Nice to meet you. Manners and respect. Instead, you get people that troll you in the comment section, say mean and nasty things, and they don't even know you. But I'm glad I grew up in the time that I did, and I got to see that. I got to experience that. It drives me even more to do this dog sanctuary. I call it a rescue, but it's more than that. It's a retirement home for dogs. And other people that see the world the way I do. I got more than I need and I want to share. I've always been that way, even when I was a kid, sharing my toys and my clothes with my brothers and whatnot. It makes me feel good to be charitable. It helps with this PTSD to help other people. But when people look at me, they judge this book by its cover quite frequently, right down to where I live right now. Jesse, I don't like these devices either. It turned people into zombies. Amen. I hitched in 76, so I relate to you, Johnny. Yeah, hitchhiking. I remember hitchhiking. My mom used to hitchhike a little bit. It was a different world. Your little kids, grammar school, they jumped on their bicycle and took off around the neighborhood. Kids these days don't do that. You got to worry about some bad person doing something to your children. Wasn't like that when I was a kid. I remember one time when I took off on my bicycle and I stayed gone all day long until dark. And boy, everybody was freaking out looking for me. And my uncle was at the house when I got home and he put a beating on me. What are you thinking? I didn't know. I was just a kid being a kid. We were all worried. But nothing happened. Now people they're afraid to let their kids play in the front yard. It's crazy, man. But what I've give up to live in the old days. I'd forsake technology just so I could return to my hometown and run through the forest. Amen. Yeah. If I'm lucky enough to get this dog sanctuary started, somebody else is going to do all the gadget work. I want to be too busy building doggy apartments and fixing fences and staying busy with my hands and maybe come out here once in a while to say hi. And somebody else can make the videos every day. I like doing these lives because of the conversations we have. You guys give me faith in humanity. It tells me that there's some good folks out there that still understand life for the way it used to be and not for the way it is now. And they're not bitter. I enjoy a good conversation with good people. In the town I live in, it just doesn't happen here. So I'm very isolated. Duck. I am 13 and I am country boy, so I go in the woods every day. Well, good for you, Duck. I don't know how you found this channel. I'll try to keep my language clean, but I put on the notice 18 and over. Not too many youngsters come out here, but good for you. Coffee. Love me my coffee. Lousy weather outside. I wanted to get some work done outside today, but I'm just not up for it. It's not my first time here, Duck. Okay, cool. Some kids are more mature for their age. And some people, well, I'm not even going to go there. Jesse, there's still good people out there. I noticed a marked increase in folks from all walks of life either walk away or wake up. There you go. I like that. Amen to you, Duck. Bless you, little guy. Yeah. And my grandpa says, Dad laughed all the time. Ah, there you go. Good for you. Good for you. My grandfather helped raise me when I was real little, before Mom got kicked out because she got pregnant with my brothers. Grandpa was my earliest influence. Manners and respect. Used to sit at the TV set. Grandpa used to watch Lawrence Welk and then Big Time Wrestling. And Mom said when Grandpa was watching TV, no talking, no goofing around. That's his time to relax. Hee-haw. Television shows back when I was a kid were so different. Entertainment was so different. It was very clean. The Waltons. I go on and on about television shows. I Dream of Jeannie. Gunsmoke and Bonanza. Grandpa loved those shows. The Rifleman. Man. And then when I was older, it was Starsky and Hutch and Beretta. Adam 12. Columbo. Grandpas are awesome. Oh, look, Wolf's in the house. Hope you are doing good today. I'm hanging in there, brother. It's great to see you. Johnny, good to see you. There you go. Trying to get caught up on the comments. I just running my mouth reminiscing about the old days. I'm in the ministry, and as a human being in this broken world, my language sometimes gets rough. Amen, Jesse. I know the feeling. Columbo was my favorite. There you go, LS Duck. I love the Rifleman. There you go, Duck. I got a job, man. I start Tuesday. Oh, Wolf, I'm so happy for you, brother. Good for you, man. Good for you. Nothing better than having that paycheck coming in and getting up and going to work and feeling like a man, right? It's tough being idle. There was a time before I got into the sheet metal union and I was struggling to get a career, man. I was depressed every day, trying to figure out how I was going to survive in this world. Growing up without a dad and not having that structure and foster homes and all that stuff, and knowing that you're going to have to survive on your own 2 feet. There's a lot of pressure when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, trying to figure out what I was going to do to feed myself, you know, because I didn't have no net to catch me if I fell. I had to stand on my own 2 feet. As a kid, I loved the TV shows Chips. There you go. There's another good one. Congrats, Wolf. Blessings. There you go. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Everybody showing Wolf some love. Right on, man. I love that. This is my favorite part of YouTube. Feeling like we got a little community of like-minded people and friends supporting each other. Once again, you guys give me faith that there's still good people out there. And it doesn't matter where you come from on the planet or what your walk in life was. It's what's in your heart. A lot of us carry scars, but it doesn't change who you are by nature, right? I mean, yeah, I was pretty angry, and I can still get angry, but I'm a lover, not a fighter. I know how to fight, and will and can if I have to, but I'd rather have great conversation with good people, man. All the crap I went through as a kid, it doesn't change my soft heart. That's why I come out here and cry. But when I first moved to this town, I didn't come out here crying. I was yelling and screaming because I was angry. You're never too old to learn. I like those older shows because new shows have... There you go, Duck. Thank you, Jesse. There you go. There you go. Loading products and trucks. Target. But I have 5. There you go, Wolf. I like it. I like it. Misfits gotta stick together. There you go. Been through some hard stuff. Was with the wrong people. I know how that is. Did the wrong things. Want to change my life, and just recently found this channel. Give me good vibes and hope. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear that. It makes me feel good when YouTube is actually working. Good folks coming together and saying nice things to each other and saying prayers for each other and giving each other blessings and all that. It's the way it's supposed to work. But we all know how the real world works. It's dog eat dog. People are selfish. That's why when I get off the gadget, I'm always talking about doing a kind act for a stranger. It makes you feel good. It's more for you than it is for them. If you understand life the way we do, it feels good. And then someone else sees you do a kind act for a stranger, it plants a seed. Wow, did you see what that guy did? That's why I watch these doggy channels that rescue dogs. They tell you the sad story of the dog, like the one this morning that was deaf with a broken jaw, and how it ended up getting a good home. That's a kind act by a stranger for a dog. Those stories make me sad. But it tells me there's still good people out there, so I don't lose faith. And when I leave here, I will go to all the local dog shelters, make friends with all the people that work at all the local dog shelters, and I'll be able to network through those folks and find the people I need to help me save dogs. I have no doubt. I never got to that point here. Things went sideways right away. And then I was all self-absorbed in... Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. But I learned. And when I leave here, I'll make sure that I find the right people right away. Especially given the fact that I need a couple of dogs right away. God shall turn your heart of stone into a heart of flesh. There you go, Jesse. Amen. Jesse, there you go. John, do you go to church? No, I went to a local church here. It wasn't a good fit. It just wasn't for me. I came to this town because somebody in this town said a prayer for me, someone I met on YouTube a long time ago, and we used to do Bible study together. Because I don't read, she would read the Bible and we would talk about it, and I'd ask questions, and it was once a week, and I really enjoyed it. But everything went sideways. She disappeared, and I got a lot of grief living in this small town, and everything fell apart. But it's not over till it's over, and I'm not dead yet. Having a purpose in life sometimes is very hard to find. I got lucky. The ex-wife brought little Kimba dog in my life. She texted me a picture of little Kimba when she was a baby, saying, you know anybody that needs a puppy? And I fell in love with that picture, and I asked my roommate, Dave Dog, could I bring her home? And he said, yeah, sure. And that little dog changed my life. And then I ended up with her dog, Mama Dog. And now all three of their ashes are on the mantle. I got so much crap in my head, whether it's my childhood or recent events, but it doesn't change my purpose. Those dogs found me for a reason. God's been watching out for a long time, even before I had faith in God. I always believed in God, but I didn't have any faith that he was going to be there for me. All that stuff about if God is real, why does he allow suffering? It's so that you can learn something. You can learn something about yourself. You go through enough adversity and enough suffering, it'll change you. The good, the bad, the ugly. And that's on you, what you do with that suffering. I was very angry and very bitter. I'm not anymore. I've changed a lot. I'm very grateful that I changed for the better from that suffering. I haven't been very close to many humans in my life. And to be honest, nothing's hurt me more than losing my dogs. I lost my mom, the ex-wife, my baby brother, all very painful. But what I've been through since my dogs died, hardest thing I ever been through, for sure. And so to dedicate my life to dogs, that's easy for me. It's a no-brainer because my attachment to them is so strong. And finding other dog lovers is a no-brainer. I see videos all the time, people saving dogs. They get it the way I get it. They understand how important it is to be there for a dog and what they do for us. Well, if I actually got to share Jesus' gospel with my wife's best friend last night. Nice, Wolf. She has been going through hard times with family passing and said she wanted to get closer to God. So I obliged and shared. Good for you, Wolf. Good for you. That's the same thing that happened with the gal from this town who I used to do Bible study with. I told her I wanted to get closer to God because I didn't have any real religious background. Mom was Catholic, And that really soured her because she got pregnant and wasn't married. She said, if I'm going to hell, I'm going to have a good time. And then she did the born again Christian thing, Baptist church. And I went to Sunday school for a little while as a kid. So I had a little bit of church in my life as a kid, but not much. But doing Bible study with the gal from this town, it's because I wanted to get closer to God, just like your friend there, Wolf, same thing. And then when the snake had the big belly under the apple tree, and I watched that gentleman tack room Bible study talking about being baptized, on that day, God touched me like never before. It was no voice in my head or no lightning bolts or whatever, right? It was just a gentle nudge. I got you. And on that day, I had faith, and I've had it ever since. But the day I put Mama Dog down and I was driving back home, I prayed to God to take me. I didn't want to do this no more. Suffering. And I was so serious. Just take me, Lord. I don't want to do this no more. But I'm still here. What I could, Wolf, what I could over message. It's always easier to share God's message face to face. There you go, Wolf. Amen, Wolf. There you go, Duck. Big amen to Wolf. There you go. See, I like that. When I was 5, I had a dog that saved my life from a bunch of baby snakes. Wow. The Lord needs no house. He is within ourselves and all around us. Amen. I like that. And there's another amen, another amen. I love it. Johnny, you nailed it. Our brains have a massive shitstorm happening, but it does not change our purpose. There you go. Wolf, that's what I told the girl last night. How much pain and suffering and evil can you witness and endure and still stay on the course? How much can you lose and still be on the narrow path? How many blows? There you go, Wolf. I like it. Can you take without shaking your foundation? Amen. Johnny, I'm glad the Lord did not take you. Thank you. You are so important to so many of us, even if not to anyone else. You are immensely important to me. My life has improved because of you. Thank you for that, Wolf. Thank you. Appreciate you. Amen, Wolf. Amen. There you go, Jesse, Duck. Oh. Faith isn't easy sometimes, you know. It's believing in something you can't see. But I feel it. And I know one day it's going to change. And I'll get to complete my purpose. It's too important. I don't believe God will forsake me and not let me finish what I started. And if he takes me before I finish, then I guess my purpose was right here in the comment section. These videos. Instead of a retirement home for pit bulls, It'll be my legacy in the comment section, and you good folks sharing my story. So whatever he has planned, I'm at peace with that. But I'm a realist. Mom died at 55, wife died at 50, my brother died at 53, and I'm 62. And there's still a big part of me that wants to go home. I don't want to do this no more. But I need to. I don't know how else to put it. I need to. It drives me. And that's got to come from God, right? I mean, there's no other way to explain my behavior. After everything I've been through, I could sell this place, keep one truck and one Harley, and go fuck off for the rest of my life. Chase ass and drink beer and, just be a shithead. But I can't do that. That won't bring me happiness. And it don't feel right to me. I need to finish what I started. Also reminds me of Joseph and how much he endured at the hands of his own family. I know that story. You're right. Amen, Johnny. God will not. There you go, Jesse. John, I barely know you, but hearing all of this, there's a reason you're still here. Amen. And there will be a reason you will live someday, but right now you have a good reason to stay. Thank you. Amen. Like I said, I got faith for sure. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's what gets me in the shower, right? There are days where I just don't want to do anything. Get to feeling sorry for yourself. Why me, Lord? Why me? You know I came here to do a charity, and why did I have to go through all this bullshit moving to this town? How come I didn't get help? I moved here with the express intent to find 10 people and save 100 dogs, start a foundation, put their names on the paperwork so when I die, they inherit everything I got. Who does that? I don't know anybody that's trying to do what I'm trying to do. And then to have to face the adversity that I have since I got here, just why me, Lord? But suffering teaches you. I wasn't ready. I was still too angry. It took losing my dogs to realize that. That's why I have faith that I'll get to finish. Because I learned the hard way. And that's why I know I'm not angry like I was. I still got it in me, but not like I did. Nothing like I did. I was forced to look at myself in the mirror and be honest and realize exactly what I was doing and why. And now I'm a different person. God will transcend our simple human understanding. God gives us what we need, not what we want. There you go. When something bad happens that we don't understand, it's God's next lesson and test. What did we? There you go, Wolf. Learn, and what did we do with the knowledge? There you go, Wolf. Well said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't know what the future has in store. I know what I want. I want to finish this somewhere else. But if God gets me before I'm finished, then that's his will, and I'm good with that. I just hope and pray that I get to finish what I started and I get to live out my days being happy. But there's a lot of people that go to the grave and happy isn't part of their life. And I've accepted that. Maybe happiness in this life wasn't meant to be. I don't know. But like I said, it's not over till it's over. And I'm still here. Lord knows why, but I'm still here. Well, I'm going to get off this gadget. Sorry, you guys. My tummy's kind of upset. I need to eat some food. But thank you once again for all your kind words down there in the comment section. You guys help this old man get through the day. You really do. All your prayers and talking back and forth, and you restore my faith in humanity every day. You do. It's really weird for a guy like me that came up with, on a black and white TV set, to be sitting here making a YouTube video and having a conversation in the comment section. But this is one of the few times that technology works for the good, not the evil. And I see that, and I appreciate that a great deal. You know, the Lord works in mysterious ways, even if it is on YouTube. That's how I got to this little town, was a prayer. So you just never know what God has in store until it's right there in your face. So on that note, I'm going to get off the gadget. Much love and respect as always. Love the ones that love you back. Do your very best with the rest. And don't ever forget to do a kind act for a stranger. This world really needs it, and you need it more than you know. What it does for you, karma, call it whatever you want. It's food for the soul, right? Leading by example, doing nice things like Wolf was just talking about, helping that gal, having faith in God, praying for each other, looking out for each other, being your brother's keeper. That's right out of the Bible, I'm sure. So thanks again. I love you guys. I appreciate you a great deal. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.